first thing I must say, Karis, Pickerington Central alum.
Oh, yeah.
Shout.
What year did you graduate?
2009. I'm very old.
Nah, you're not that old. Couple years older than me. 2012 for me.
Very nice.
Yeah, go Tigers.
Yeah, go Tigers. How about that?
Yeah.
So first off, welcome back to Cleveland. Same question we just asked George. Feels like you guys have had 9 training camps already with all these runs all summer. What has that been in terms of establishing continuity for you guys?
It's been great, man. It's been great. You know, in the summertime, a lot of guys kind of go their separate ways. And on some teams, you don't hear from guys all summer. So it's been great to, you know, get together. And I think we were in Miami, Connecticut. We had one in Vegas as well. So, and then I was actually, me and Evan and Isaiah, we have the same trainer out in Los Angeles. So I saw them almost every day out there. So, you know, just being around the guys is super important, building continuity, building chemistry and things like that. So I think we all had a great summer.
One of the things that really impressed me with your game last year was, you know, in the past you've always been counted on as kind of a primary ball handler, and just the way that you adjusted to, you know, shooting more threes, and I think your playmaking really was one of your strengths last year, working with Jared and Evan. What's the increased spacing by having guys like Max Strus and George Niang going to do for your game individually?
Man, it's going to be huge. I think last year, like you said, I had to adjust to, you know, the different type of spacing, so there wasn't as many rim attempts, and that's what I've been great at my whole career, is getting to the rim. I feel like, you know, if I have a lot of one-on-one coverage, there's not much that defenders can do. And I feel like last season, obviously when you play with 2 bigs, they're kind of on both blocks, so the spacing's a little bit different. And I think bringing George in, who can, you know, play the stretch 4 a little bit, where he can kind of, you know, space in the corner, the spacing will just be a little bit different. So I feel like it'll be a lot of rim attempts for myself, Don, Darius. I feel like we'll be able to get to the rim and just a little bit easier this year.
What's been kind of the early returns of playing with these guys? Obviously, you're familiar with their game, but you're not going to be quite as familiar as when they're on your team.
Yeah, obviously, you know, George, Ty, and Max are all great shooters. I think that's what jumps out off the page, but I think, you know, more than that, they have great IQ. You know, they really know how to play the game. They know, you know, what spots to be in offensively and defensively, and all 3 of them are great competitors too. You know, they really take the one-on-one challenge defensively, and they make winning plays. So definitely looking forward to playing with all those guys.
I think one of the mistakes people make when they look at players is after their first couple of years, they basically assume you guys are finished products. Is there anything, like, even if it's just, you know, growth within the margins, that was kind of an area of focus for you that you attacked this offseason?
Well, I think for me, even going into last season, like, shooting was huge for me, 3-point shooting. And I shot 39%. That's the best I've shot since I've been in the league. And people don't really look at me as, like, a knockdown shooter. And it's funny because I shoot a better percentage than a lot of people, but you wouldn't know that unless you looked at the percentages, you know what I mean? So for me, just being like 6'6 and a half, 6'7", and I want to play as long as I can. It's important for me, for this team, and, you know, for my career to be able to be a knockdown 3-point shooter. So that's something that I've really worked on the past couple of summers, and I work on it every single day.
In terms of your mechanics, I mean, I remember the book on you coming in was that this is a guy who can shoot off the dribble really, really, really well.
Yeah.
But isn't as comfortable being a catch and shoot guy, a guy shooting off movement. How much have you had to focus on that part of your game to kind of succeed within the construct of what this team is?
Yeah, that's been, you know, the past 3-4 months has been a lot of on the move shooting, coming off screens, transition, you know, a lot of things like that. Like you said, I'm super comfortable playing off the dribble with the ball in my hands, playing a lot of one-on-one when I was a kid and things like that. Like, you get super comfortable playing with the ball in your hands, but that's been something I've really been, you know, working on the past couple of years. Really, this past summer, I really locked into it a lot.
Would we be correct in assuming that there's going to be more 3-point volume from this year, like in terms of kind of like the distribution, like more attack in the rim and more threes? Is that?
I would say so. Camp starts tomorrow, so we'll see. It's been just a lot of open gym thus far, not a lot of structure, but I would say it will be a lot more threes just with the roster that we have. Obviously, I add in 2 knockdowns, and then Ty's a knockdown as well at the backup point guard position, so you can only assume that.
Well, I'm excited to see what a few more cleaner looks do for you. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Karis.
Yep.
Appreciate it.